So let me try this once again, everyone. Good morning! All right, that's better. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. My name is Ruchika Davar and I welcome you all to the second International Environment Sustainability Summit, Goa. Ladies and gentlemen, India's most premier sustainability and environment platform for exhibition and thought sharing and knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, as we start this morning, the guests are getting seated at the back. Yet again, I would request you to please expedite your seating. And first and foremost, we would start with a little bit of warm-up. So wherever you are, आप जहाँ पे भी बैठे हैं, अगर आप लेफ्ट-हैंडेड हैं, तो अपना लेफ्ट हैंड हवा में उठाइए. अगर आप राइट हैंडेड हैं तो अपना राइट हैंड हवा में उठाइए. Let me see your hands up in the air, whichever is your preferred hands, ladies and gentlemen. And now for the next step of Mr. Patil, you need to do this too. Now whichever side you're sitting, let's take our hand round. And in the next step of this exercise, I want to see your phones in your hands. Can I see? Yes, sir. That's the way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 6 hours, the most difficult step of the day, please put your phones on the silent mode. And now that you've done that, it's time for us to start this morning by welcoming our esteemed guests in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, this state that you are in, it's Goa, India's smallest state. But I always say that while Goa might be small in size, it is India's biggest state in terms of personality. Because once you've been to Goa, you can never get over Goa. And they say that Goa is known for 3 S's: sun, sand and sea. Am I right? Goa is known for sun, sand and sea. I would like to add one more S to that. Henceforth, Goa should be known for sun, sand, sea and sustainability. And as a state, to show the commitment of the state towards environment and sustainability, well, the choice of venue and the choice of the conference couldn't have been better. We have with us our esteemed guests in the house. It's time for me to start welcoming each one of them on the stage, and let's make some noise as I start inviting our very special guests. We have with us Shri Mahesh Patil, the Chairman, Goa State Pollution Control Board. I would like to invite Mr. Mahesh Patil, sir, to kindly escort our chief guest onto the stage, the Honourable Minister for Law and Judiciary, Environment, Captain of Ports and Legislative Affairs, Government of Goa, Shri Alexio Sequeira. Let's make some noise, everyone. I would like to request Mr. Patil to now escort towards the stage our keynote speaker guest, Shri Suresh Prabhu, the founding Chancellor of Rishihood University, guest professor of London School of Economics, though I must say that the ecosystem of India is no stranger to Mr. Prabhu, who has been a 6-time Member of Parliament and a former Union Minister. I would now like to invite our other guests onto the stage, starting with the Director Strategic Alliances, Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India, Dr. Sapna Poti. Inviting on stage Shri Shikhar Jain, Executive Director, CII-ITC Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development, and last but not the least, the Member Secretary for Goa State Pollution Control Board. Let's hear it for Dr. Shamila Montero. Before Dr. Shamila Montero takes her seat and settles down for the morning, I would like to invite Dr. Shamila to present a welcome memento, a welcome bouquet and a shawl to each one of our guests, starting with Shri Alexio Sequeira. Let's get a bouquet and shawl on the stage. A warm welcome now going out to Shri Suresh Prabhu sir. A big thank you to Dr. Sapna Poti for taking the time out to be here with us. A warm welcome to Mr. Shikhar Jain. And last but not the least, also welcoming on stage the Chairman Goa State Pollution Control Board, Shri Mahesh Patil ji. देखिए, कहा जाता है कि अतिथि देवो भव, और किसी भी मंगल कार्य की, किसी भी अनुष्ठान की शुरुआत होती है मंगल दीप के प्रज्वलन से। सो मैं निवेदन करूंगी मंच पर हमारे सभी अतिथियों से कि वो मंगल दीप की ओर प्रस्थान करें। इट्स टाइम टू लाइट द इनॉग्रल लैम्प। Requesting everyone for a group picture together. Ladies and gentlemen, while I do understand that the organizer of this event is Goa State Pollution Control Board, but starting today, for the next 3 days, you have my earnest promise that no matter how loud you clap, nobody will come and suspend your license for clapping. So can we make some noise, please? We are just starting for the day. This is the inaugural of the conference. Let me hear that energy and noise, everyone. And as I kickstart the addresses, with great pleasure, I invite your host for the event. It's time for me to invite Mr. Mahesh Patil onto the stage to extend a welcome address to the dignitaries, delegates and exhibitors of India's most premier summit on environment and sustainability.
Good morning, namaskar. Chief guest for today's second International Environmental and Sustainability Summit Goa 2024. Shri Alexio Siqueira, Honorable Minister for Law, Judiciary and Environment, Government of Goa. Our special invitee and keynote speaker, Shri Suresh Prabhuji, former Union Minister, and we know what all already my companion has told you about, and my good friend, a mentor. Dr. Sapna Poti, who was a Director Strategic Alliance, and she is working closely with PMO's office and Principal Scientific Advisor. Shikhar Jain from CII, my colleague Shamila, eminent speakers who have come from different parts of the country to participate in the panel discussion. Chairman, Member Secretary of various pollution control boards, delegates, participants, press, media, and my dear friends. It gives me immense pleasure and honor to be in front of you today for this function, and especially to give a welcome to this 3-day summit. Mr. Alexo Sequeira, our Honorable Minister, who has been very kind to find time. Probably many of you who come from the outside state may not be aware. Assembly session is on, and to top of it, today we have a budget session. So he has said he will come. So much commitment he has shown to us to come here. Even he inaugurated a stall, and he said we will also deliver this talk. So I will not take much time, but as a courtesy, I welcome you all. Also Suresh Prabhuji, whom I associate more than 25 years ago when we started a bamboo pavilion in Goa. It was one of the first bamboo pavilion of double storage, and then the multiplication you can see at Bangalore Airport, Mauritius and Maldives. Sir, I welcome you. Dr. Sapna Poti, again I tell you the importance of this conference is a networking and connect. Last year when we just thought of doing this program in Goa, one of my colleagues, Jenica Sequeira, scientist, she mentioned to me she knew a people party in Ahmedabad would help us in doing industrial exhibition. We connected, and that connected made us last year's Sustainability Summit a great success. Taking that clue forward, we wanted to do it ourselves this year, and with our all in-house talent, we could organize people. Similarly, my colleague Shamila attended one more conference, and she happened to meet just a month ago Dr. Sapna Poti. She was there. Just on that discussion, she said, okay, you are doing, I would support you. 15 days back, when we went for the Delhi to meet Honorable Minister during the program, he said, we just called her, and she said, come, let's talk, and immediately agreed to become a partner as a Manthan. And that is more about the Manthan and details she will tell you. But this is only to show the present government is not a bureaucracy what you all feel. It's an action. And this is only a right intent, right connect makes it possible. So many of these conferences you have come here, or many of you have come here and also seen the exhibition, you get the connect, the knowledge sharing will play a big role. I would also welcome Dr. Shikhar Jain. CII has been our partner last year. Simo Arora, who is the head of the division, could not attend today. But she has been very, very supportive along with Shikhar Jain, Ms. Bana and whole team. I welcome your whole team. I welcome, I couldn't take name, but I can see in front of me Mr. Khoslaji, who is the most eminent scientist here, Mr. Abhijit, who is a Vice Chairman of Mining Environmental Committee, Mr. Bansal and many more other chairmen. So I welcome you all. Take this opportunity to learn, also tell us where we can improve upon for taking forward. Two more things I want to say. This theme is of action, what we said, commitment to action. Last year we signed 3 MOUs, that is one with the IGBC, and today I am happy that 4 companies in Goa has got its IGBC rating. Also the Greenco rating we signed, 3 companies in Goa has got Greenco rating. All this was supposed to be held today. But again, as I said, today we have an assembly session, so Honorable CM could not come. He had a blessing for us, he has support from us, like our Honorable Minister. They said, you do whatever technically feasible, government is with you. And I am very thankful for you, sir, for our Environment Minister, Honorable Chief Minister, who has been always supporting this event. Similarly, Mr. Yadavji, Bhupen Yadavji, Honorable Minister for Central Government of India, he was keen to attend. In fact, last year, he attended our validity function. Today also he had planned. Till day before yesterday, he was saying he would try to attend the after tomorrow program. But again, the Parliament session is on. Some bills are being introduced, he is unable to make. Third part, what I just want to tell you all is the action. Last year we appealed to Godrej, and Godrej has signed an MOU with us, and we have been able to implement waste management in 3 municipalities, 30 village panchayat. This year I am happy that Mondelez has come forward, and they are signing a MOU with us for making waste management and launching their unique project, Plastic Lighthouse in Mapsa. This is possible not alone pollution control can do, government with us, but as an autonomous body like municipality should come together. So we are together will do it. Without more, I have to say something which I will elaborate more works during our validity function. I will once again welcome you all for this function, and thank you so much for your help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patil, sir, for that warm welcome and brief synopsis of what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, as repeatedly has been cited across various forums and most importantly by the Honorable Prime Minister himself, no environment and sustainability goals are possible without a PPP, a public-private partnership. Because environment sustainability is not only the government's job. Everyone has to come and play a pivotal role as a stakeholder towards our net zero goals. With this in mind, just like Mr. Mahesh Patil mentioned about the Godrej MOU last year, he has already given you a teaser that we have an MOU coming up with Mondelez. What is the project? I'm sure you're curious. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Shri Abhishek Sahai, the Head Public and Government Affairs and CSR for Mondelez International, to introduce to us all the Lighthouse project proposed to be implemented in Goa. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you for the opportunity. Very briefly, we are very happy and pleased to partner with the Goa State Pollution Control Board, the State Government of Goa, and the Mapusa Municipal Council on this very ambitious project which we are calling Lighthouse. Essentially a project wherein we will look at circularity of plastic waste management. So this is something that has been talked about a lot but not implemented from a city perspective. So that's what we are trying to do with this program. We are trying to set up a process, an end-to-end process, so that the plastic waste is managed sustainably, and we are happy and very proud that we are starting this with Mapusa. The end aim is that Mapusa should act as a lighthouse for other such councils, other such municipalities, so that they can take it as a scalable model. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sahai. Please stay on the stage. Mr. Patil, sir, may I invite you to rise up? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to exchange the MOU between Mondelez Food Private Limited as a part of their corporate social responsibility, the Goa State Pollution Control Board. Let me also tell you that the other collaborators in this project are Mapusa Municipal Council, MMC, and Anubhuti Welfare Foundation. So if we have anyone, any official from MMC or Anubhuti, I invite you to please join us on the stage for this historic moment. लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, आप ऑडियंस में हैं तो अपना दर्शक धर्म निभाते रहिए, तालियां बजाते रहिए. Thank you and congratulations to all the stakeholders. I'm sure Goa is only going to benefit from such steps further ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to invite somebody on the stage now who only has the welfare of Goa on his mind, and the number of jumbo portfolios that decorate his resume only are a testimony to that. Ladies and gentlemen, gives me great pleasure to now invite on the podium the Honourable Minister for Law and Judiciary, Environment, Captain of Ports and Legislative Affairs for the Government of Goa. Can we give a resounding welcome to Shri Alexo Sequeira.
Founding Chairman, Chancellor, of Rishi Hood University, Guest Professor, London School of Economics, former Union Minister, and my friend, Shri Suresh Prabhu, Executive Director, CII, Shri Jain, Madam Sapna Poti, Mr. Mahesh Patel, Chairman, Goa State Pollution Control Board, Madam Sharmila Montero, Member Secretary, Goa State Pollution Control Board, dignitaries, eminent industrialists, educationists, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to apologize to the organizers, for as usual, I am known to be a confusion master, and I have upset their program in view of the assembly session. My apologies to you all. The government of Goa is happy to host through the Goa State Control Pollution Board this International Sustainability Summit. As such platforms are important for the present and the future. The mission of our country under the leadership of our dear Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji is to achieve sustainable development whilst we ensure that our environment is not trampled upon. Across India, people feel proud that the population of lions, tigers, leopards and the gigantic Ganges River dolphins has gone up. It itself is an indicator of a healthy environment. Goa is dear to us Goans. When I was entrusted with the environment portfolio, I was clearly told by our Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant, who, if I may quote, told me, "I'm entrusting you with a portfolio which is today important." Further, he went on to tell me that we have to ensure that we will do our best to preserve Goa and thus ensure Goa is a better place to live in. Today's challenges for attaining sustainable development are complex and interconnected. We thus need everyone to work towards creating a sustainable future. This year's summit is in furtherance to the first summit held last year, wherein the theme was Building a Sustainable Future, which was attended by industry delegates, including exhibitors, special invitees, as well as visitors who are concerned about our dear environment. Last year during the summit, MOUs were exchanged towards promoting green technology in the state of Goa, and I'm happy to share that many industries or organizations have initiated green technology or new initiatives and approaches during the year. However, the theme for this year's summit is structuring the present for a sustainable future. More importantly, our commitments to actions. The 3-day summit will bring together ideas and thoughts that will inspire action to drive growth, leading to a resilient future. It will build up discussions and ideas on the innovative approaches for business, governments, and institutions in addressing risks and opportunities in an integrated way that will build the foundation for a sustainable tomorrow and a way forward to address the same through mitigative and adaptive approaches on the theme on sustainable development, wherein you expert members will discuss, deliberate on issues to arrive at a consensus to continually strengthen the role as well as the way forward by various stakeholders. The summit will have diverse stakeholders from the government, industry and institutions. Participants to the events will include representations from industries, ministries, government departments, academia, financial institutes, civil society, consultants, bilateral and multilateral agencies, besides research scholars, educational institutes and many more. This year, special emphasis has also been given to startups. We need to come together and take collective actions towards sustainable development. Every citizen has to be a green ambassador. It is the green social responsibility of every citizen to preserve the environment. If each and every one of us takes it upon ourselves to preserve the environment in a small little way as a part of our green social responsibility. There will be 1 billion green good deeds accomplished each day across the country. I make a fervent appeal, especially to school and college students, to take up this challenge and join the movement to preserve our environment and thus preserve planet Earth. Keeping Mother Earth dear to us, let us all reaffirm our commitment to work together with a common objective for a greener, cleaner and healthier planet for prosperity. I wish this summit success and once again apologize for having to leave you all due to the assembly session. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sequeira, for your very profound words. Ladies and gentlemen, as our Honourable Chief Guest has already mentioned to us, it's time for him to take our leave. But before he leaves the venue, I would like to invite Mr. Mahesh Patil, sir, to present a memento to Mr. Alexio Sequeira. As you've all heard, Mr. Sequeira will be directly proceeding to the Goan Assembly where the budget is being heard right now. And the fact that he took the time here to be with us for the inaugural itself shows Goa's commitment towards environmental sustainability. I think we can have a louder round of applause for that. We would also like to take this opportunity to present a memento to all our guests on the stage. A big thank you to Mr. Suresh Prabhu sir as well, who's on the stage with us. A memento for Dr. Sapna Poti. And a big thank you to Mr. Shikhar Jain as well. I would now like to invite on stage Mr. Shikhar Jain, the Executive Director for CII-ITC Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development, to address the audience for the inaugural.
Good morning, everybody. Already we have the Minister Sequeira who has left, but we have two important persons on the dais, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, who had been the mentor for our Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development at CII, and also Dr. Sapna Poti from the Principal Scientific Advisor's Office. I extend my warm welcome to them on behalf of CII also. Last year when we started this summit, the first one, we thought that it's an initiative because none of the pollution control boards ever approach industry. And it was a surprise to us that Goa State Pollution Control Board, which is getting reflected also, wanted to do something at pan-India level. So while we are doing it in the state of Goa, the thought process was that we continue doing this program on year-on-year basis, but try to bring various stakeholders, various experiences across the country and the world. So that's why it's also an international flavor to it, and learn some of the good practices, best practices that could be applied for the state of Goa and can be showcased also. And it started as a journey last year. We are into the second year now, and hopefully many more years to come. And we are seeing this getting reflected also in some of the actions. Last year we saw that they have this Greenco MOU which was done, and now this year we just saw we have Mondelez, and there might be many more partnerships which will be coming from industry. And I think this is the new way of working, where a collaborative effort needs to be there between the industry chamber, CI in this case, and also the guys who are looking from the enforcement point of view, which is the Goa State Pollution Control Board. And I think this is what we have been all trying to do with various other state pollution control boards. But coming back to the theme for the summit, there are various sessions which have been well articulated And I think we have eminent speakers, and of course Dr. Khosla is over here, who is one of the torch bearer for the complete sustainable development and the SDGs and its involvement and all. And we have eminent speakers. So we have brought all the latest topics which are going to be discussed over here in next 3 years on decarbonization, on climate finance, on circular economy, on technologies, on startups. And I think this is one of the topics which are discussed everywhere in the world. Because another important thing which will also get reflected in this summit is, most of you might be aware that Prime Minister introduces Mission Life, which was more on the behavioral part of an individual, from individual to the industry, to various actions that any stakeholder can take place. And I think we do have a session on Mission Life. Why I mentioned Mission Life was that it is all talking about what each one of us as a citizen can do for the country, and how we can link it to the sustainable development journey. And linking to Mission Life is also some of the sessions, and the important one being the green credits. So I think these are some of the initiatives that Goa State has picked up, State Pollution Control Board has picked up. Also, we are seeing from the Davos, which has been recently concluded, and where most of the industry guys come, that climate related risk and the environmental related risk are always in first 10. This year per se, in the risk register of 2024, it is on the second or third. The first is towards the geopolitical risk. So we know the instability and uncertainty across the world, but from industry perspective, out of 10 top risks across the world, 5 to 6 of them directly comes from environment. And I think that's why sessions like this, along with industry, along with the State Pollution Control Board, gives us a lot of thoughts to discuss, that what are the future steps that we have to work out and how it can be done in a collaborative way. Some of the important risks which has also come up, not only from the climate but also from the biodiversity. So we have the dedicated session for nature related solution, and I think while at one go we are saying that how do we save our environment, and we have the climate related weathers which are getting changed and the impact of that is felt, but at the same time we are also looking at nature from the point of view of what we can still look from nature. So I was surprised in this recent concluded meeting at Davos that everybody is talking about nature climate solution and nature based solutions. So we are at a pace where we are talking of saving the environment from degradation, and whatever nature is left, we are still going back to the nature for the solutions. So I think this is something that we have to match, that how as industry, how as various stakeholders we try to work on this. So the theme for this particular summit is how do we raise more collaborations, more partnerships, and what jointly can be showcased as some of the good practices. One good session I think that came into the articulation was the startup. And I think we have been working a lot from CI perspective on the startups part. And good part of the startups is that the startups are ready to take the risk. And many startups which are coming now in the place of fintechs, education tech, and now we have the environment tech also. And I think we have some of the entrepreneurs over here, some of them are in the exhibitions. How technology as a startup can also save environment, track the impacts across the value chain, and from recycling point of view, that how it can happen. And I just met one of the organizations in the morning about how they have developed this complete platform for EPR, which is the extended producer responsibility, and how the brands and the recyclers are all coming onto this. So the role of the startups is very prominent, and also important part over here is that these startups have a huge opportunity of scaling it up. And my request to the State Pollution Control Board would be that all these startups which are able to shape up well, and because we have Dr. Sapna also over here, we should try to showcase that at the pan-India level. What is successful in Goa, we should take these examples to other places also, so that we can showcase it, because the government and the ministry is looking for having the environment related startups also getting flourished. and don't confuse it from the energy and the EV side and all, but environment dedicated startups are there, because these guys are ready to take the risk, ready to apply themselves and solve the solutions towards environment, and that's the important part. And of course we have very important session also on climate finance, and I think whether it's the startups or it is any new thing that you intend to do, finance is a very important part. So I think from the investor's perspective, from the perspective of a business case, how the scale up of some of the solutions could be done, we have this climate finance session. So with all these things, I think it would be overall a very good experience for each one of you to attend this particular summit. And I know that in this week we have two important events going on in Goa. One is of course the summit where you are, other is the India Energy Week. And I think I was talking to Mr. Patil when we were planning for this, that we have the Energy Week also coming up, which Prime Minister is inaugurating and all. And he was so confident. He said that we'll have our hall completely full with the relevant people, and we have a good exhibition which will go on. So hats off to you, Mr. Patil, and your team, that you have able to put up a great show. And I think that shows the dedication of the complete State Pollution Control Board, their colleagues, and how they are working along with the business to showcase this as a not only a national event but also as an international event. So my thanks to Gujarat State Pollution Control Board for initiating this, and towards the journey how we can go ahead, get some good thoughts from this summit, and then take it to the implementation part. I think that's the one of the key things. So with this I end my talk, and thanks to all of you for being over here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shikhar Jain. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, I think since Mr. Jain did mention Dr. Sapna Poti, it's time for me to invite her on the stage. As has already been mentioned by Mr. Patil in his inaugural address as well, you will get to hear more about Manthan, but let me tell you that one of India's most path-breaking platforms, Manthan, has gone so powerfully visible in the eyes of the stakeholders and the people who make decisions and policy holders, that Dr. Sapna Poti has even been invited to Dubai day after tomorrow to deliver an address on this very unique, marketplace, aggregator and integrator of India's sustainability CSR goals and meeting them up with the right startups. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the very, very talented, the very, very accomplished Director of Strategic Alliances, Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India. Let's have a resounding round of applause for Dr. Sapna Poti.
Thank you. A very good morning to Shri Prabhu, Shri Patil, Shri Jain and Dr. Shamla. It's really good to be here in Goa, especially because I feel the Goa Pollution Board has become part of my family. It's been last 2-3 days, and almost every day we've been meeting, discussing sustainability, discussing life and so on. So I'm really happy being there. Thank you so much for that. India, with about 1.3 billion, I think we all are poised to do two things. One is to focus on sustainability, and second is to look at how we have our youth engaged. And that's the role that I play in the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor. For those of you who do not know the Office of PSA, Dr. Abdul Kalam was our first Principal Scientific Advisor, and now we have Professor Ajay Sood. He is a nanotechnologist, a quantum expert from Indian Institute of Science with about 51 years of experience. Royal Society member, Padma Shri awardee, and all of that. When it comes to sustainability, I think from the highest level in government, people have been focusing, central government as well as state government. We have about, even the GDP being a focus here, where we look at how depletion of resources is part of the calculation of the GDP, how we have greening accounting, for instance. So from there onwards, if we go down, each of the aspects needs attention. And it's a complex problem, as all of you know, and hence each one of us really need to play a part. When it comes to aspects, the different aspects that we have ambitions and we have goals for each of these aspects. For instance, carbon credits. We are looking at being in the second position in the world for carbon credits. Be it carbon sequestration. Almost all our public sector units, NALCO, NTPC, all the large ones have been focusing a lot on carbon sequestration, especially the thermal plants. And post which we also look at the entire environment and the entire pollution, emissions and so on. Electric vehicles, as you know, is a complex issue. Not because of the fact that it's going to support India in reducing the emissions, but because of the fact that as an infrastructure, it is a complex infrastructure. Gothenburg, as you know, has a Volvo and it has one of the best EV stations and storage and so on. We need to be there somewhere, right? And in some time and very soon. Almost all the automobile companies today, some of them have hybrid, some of them have pure EV. They are focusing on this. However, the infrastructure is a challenge, right from getting the storage in place, getting the rechargeable stations in place, and also, of course, behavioral change, because that's another big issue when it comes to the population that we have. Similarly, when it comes to emissions and air pollution, a lot of work has been happening, especially from where I come, which is Delhi. We are looking at various ways of managing. One is, of course, the behavioral aspects with the farmers, agriculture residue, how do we have waste to wealth when it comes to residue, how do we manage the emissions, the fuel, the type of fuel, do we go for hydrogen fuel, so what is the maturity of that, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of complexity when it comes to electric vehicles as well. Then comes the entire scenario of other areas, which is water, waste management and so on. When it comes to water, right from the resources of water, lake rejuvenation, the kind of quantity and quality of water and so on, it is again aspects that one needs to study. There are several lakes across the nation which are depleted, which are polluted and so on. How do we have a grid? How do we map them? And how do we manage to get them to the next level? Unless we measure, we can actually not do anything much. When it comes to waste management, I think all of us know that we are one of the topmost generators of waste, somewhere around 642.45 million today. We also have e-waste, which is about 9.46 million and metric tons, of course, and 60% of it is only getting recycled. So how does one manage with this kind of a scenario where we are not recycling enough, we are generating this kind of waste? One aspect we thought of was SAF, as most of you would know, Safe Aviation Fuel. So we've got a tie-up with Airbus to look at IIP Dehradun and work with them closely on generating safe aviation fuel, which means that if that gets through, almost all the Airbus planes across the different countries would be using SAF, which also means that our waste has value then, and so on. So we need to really look at out-of-box thinking, and we also need to look at unique ways, either at a micro level, which is individual level, or at a state level, or at a central level. And that's what each one of us is doing. So given this scenario, and of course we also have mining, which is again, coal mining especially is producing a lot of emissions. They are working on it. They are looking at EVs for their, transportation. They are looking at renewable energy and so on. But given all these challenges that we have and the emissions that we have kept to ourselves, and emissions as good as, we are just 2 or 3% when it comes to green building, and we want to do come to the level of about 10% when it comes to green emission gases for that matter. Again, we have huge ambitions today. We want to go to around less than 4 metric tons, whereas the per capita, whereas the global benchmark is 4.2 metric tons. So when we look at all these ambitions that we have and the challenges which we have, it is very clear that there are certain stakeholders that need to work together. That's one is, of course, government, state and central. We also need to have industries in place. However, the new aspect is that we have a lot of startups and our youth supporting us. When it came to pandemics and when it came to the COVID, all of us were startled with the kind of challenges that we were facing. But that's the time the youth came forward and they actually rushed us with several innovations, be it ventilators, oxygen concentrators, reagents, testing kits, even vaccines. Some of them were trying out vaccines. That is the spectrum that the startups were coming up with. And each one of them was better than the other, but we did not have the time to evaluate. And we also had very little funds to actually scale them up. However, industries came forward at that time and they said that why don't we take some of these startups in terms of putting in grants or in terms of scaling them up, giving their manufacturing setup and so on. Including things like, in 3 months we set up hospitals across the nation where the state government gave 15,000 square feet land and so on. So this is the kind of complexity during pandemic that we managed. Hence we thought from the office that why don't we look at this model and go to the other areas and extrapolate it for renewable energy, for water, waste management, all the sustainable development goals and national missions. Why don't we all work together? And that's how there was the birth of Manthan. Because we are just 3-4 people in the office, we can't do much and we should not be the bottleneck between all of you and the industries and global foundations, Indian foundations as well as the different countries. And hence this platform has 4 pillars. The first pillar is where we generate the problem statements and source problem statements from different industries, foundations as well as other countries. Today I'm very happy to say it's just been 1 year and 3 months. We've not only got the Dun & Bradstreet Award for it, for the Best Business Tech Award, and a government entity getting that. We of course, as she mentioned, we also have the World Government Summit inviting us so that we can gift this kind of a platform to other countries and request them to add their challenges on our platform. Because the startups and the academic institutes can solve those global problems as well. And today we are at 6,300 crores of funding problem statements on this platform, which can be leveraged by any researcher or innovator. The second pillar is largely to do with international partnerships and government partnerships. We have about 17 line ministries and several state missions as well as state startup missions as well as state departments who are on this platform and providing problem statements on a regular basis, for which again, as I said, that anybody across the nation should be able to apply. And then we have the showcase, where we have the showcase of all the sustainable development goals innovations, market-ready innovations of startups. We also have our emerging technologies, be it defense or be it space or AI, quantum and so on. So several emerging technologies where the showcase is about the future R&D and what kind of funding can be done for that kind of R&D projects. Including the market-ready innovations, subject matter experts, because we have approached about 40 foreign institutes to also provide their subject matter experts, and we have almost all the IITs, NITs, IIITs, DRDOs, AIMS, the DST, DBT labs, Social Alpha, Manipal, all of them on this platform, and about 55,000 startups as on today. Along with that, we also have 300 incubators as a supply. So this is the reach that we have, and it's a free platform. We do not charge, we don't touch funds. I have a personal aversion to funds, and hence I ensure that we are nowhere close to touching these funds. It goes directly from the industries, the government, as well as the global foundations. We have fantastic global foundations on the platform. We have Elon Musk, who has given about 2 or 3 projects for 1,087 crores on decarbonization, and that would be of interest to you. We have Gates Foundation giving about 5 or 6 projects, Rockefeller Foundation, Wellcome Trust, and so on. I can go on and on because this is my pet subject, but I would like to close by saying that all of us need to work in tandem. We need to align to the larger goal that we have in India, and we need to do our pieces well rather than pulling each other down, because that's what also happens very regularly. And hence we need to look at how like the freedom fighters fought for us, we need to fight for our youth and ensure that we have a very good environment in India and we have something to offer to them. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sapna Poti, for giving us a full churn of the manthan, if I can use the term. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, it is time for us to invite our much-awaited keynote address speaker of the inaugural session. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause as I invite to the podium the former Union Minister and 6 times Member of Parliament, who is the founding Chancellor of Rishi Hood University, Guest Professor of London School of Economics. I'm sure you are right now desperately waiting to hear him. Let me hear some noise for none other than Dr. Suresh Prabhu.
Good morning, friends. Mr. Mahesh Patel is the chairman of the Goa Pollution Control Board, the member secretary, the minister, of course, Alex Sequeira, under the guidance of the Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant. I must congratulate them, thank them for organizing this very interesting event. Mr. Mahesh Patel has been in the industry, but he was in one of the challenging industry where he had to balance between the land use change, at the same time ensure the future of the planet. But luckily, he has done an excellent job, and therefore the Chief Minister decided to make him the chairman of the State Pollution Control Board, where he is bringing a lot of his past experience of working with the industry. That's why Mr. Shikari mentioned why he invited industry must be the reason, because he is from that channel. So this is a very important issue that we are going to discuss in the next 3 days. There are a lot of top stalwarts who have a lot of experience, knowledge, perspective on these issues are also there in this room. They will be speaking in the next 3 days, including my dear friend Dr. Ashok Khosla. So I think we'll have a very fruitful, meaningful, outcome-oriented discussion which will lead to some concrete action. That's what the theme of the conference is, taking some concrete action. It is interestingly, the state control boards, the first Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB, as well as some states adopted or they were part of the law. It was incidentally the law which created the state pollution control boards or the pollution control boards was the law called Water Prevention of Pollution. And incidentally, the first pollution control board was created in 1974. So today we are actually this is the 50th year since this institution of pollution control board came into play. And I was a minister amongst many ministries I had. Of course, I was also Minister of Environment and Forest in 1998. So that is now what, 26 years ago. So actually that particular time itself, I had posed this question to my colleagues in the ministry. What is the role of the pollution control board? Since then, of course, as we have said, a lot of water has flown under the river, but actually there is no water in the river, so there is nothing to be flowing below the river. All the rivers are becoming dry, so therefore only unless you put up a board there saying that there is a river which flows sometimes in some years, then only there will be a meaning of calling something like a river. And that is unfortunate, because our country was known for rivers. In fact, our ancient civilization, of which we are really proud of, was all riverine civilizations. They were on the banks of the rivers. So the law was made for water. But since then now we have to really think about whether pollution control should be the only purpose of our future environmental strategies. Controlling pollution is extremely important because that's what damages our natural capital. But is that enough? Or we have to go beyond that and think about what should be the way our public policy and environment should focus on. And that's a big challenge, big issue that we will need to debate, and I'm sure I will request the chairman of the State Pollution Control Board and the member secretary to organize one day, because this is the 50th year. I'm sure the ministry will organize something in Vigyan Road. Let them do. But I think we should organize a small round table of not many people to think about what should be the role to the change environment. Environment means change situation in which the pollution control board should operate. Is it only pollution control is enough or something beyond that? Because I think since 50 years when we started doing that, our size of population was probably 60% of what it is today, or even less than that. Since then, the footprint as a result of increasing population has increased, and therefore if you go by per capita, you go by per capita emission for carbon, but if you go by per capita other levels of pollution, whether it is land-based, air-based, or water-based, would automatically have doubled, only because this has happened. Of course, this is possible that with the advent of technologies, with new thinking, people would not have been as aggressive in terms of pollution as they were earlier, but still it would have happened. Of course, the industry, which is cause of a problem, has also come out with a lot of innovation. So therefore, industries have really, in a sense, contributed significantly to reducing the carbon footprint as well as the other emissions. For example, take a broad macro level. Our per capita, the energy intensity of India, once upon a time, used to be, again I was a minister of power, so I'm just combining both. The per capita, the per unit energy intensity for India's GDP was more than one, once upon a time. It has now reduced by almost 0.3 or 0.4%. So therefore, energy intensity has gone down, also the carbon intensity has gone down. So that's the contribution of technology and industry to this whole discourse of issues related to environment. But still, we have a big problem. And therefore, we really now need to think about whether pollution control itself is enough or we should go beyond. Goa, and you have one of the finest one who's conducting this, one of the best. I was really impressed with what you were saying. So you mentioned very interestingly, sand, sea and sun, which are the Goa's tagline, Goa says about it. And then, so you mentioned about that and you said you add sustainability to it. But here I was just looking at, the other is, this is one, it was there earlier, was soil and not oil, something like that you mentioned here, because I saw that. So if you look at it, the soil is something which we always don't bring into a forefront of issues related to environment. Because there is no soil, then there is no productivity or agriculture can happen. And therefore, of course, oil is also derived below the soil. And therefore, oil and soil they don't come from the same family, but they are actually destructive of each other. But the point is, when you talk about soil and sand, they also come from the same letter that you wanted to talk about, S. But just imagine, all soil will become sand if you don't take proper care about it. There is already a desertification which is happening at a massive scale. And just imagine, Goa is very proud of having so much of sand. But just imagine if whole India, there is no water in the rivers and sand becomes part of the soil, then what will happen? And that's what I was saying, we have to think about going beyond just working on the surface of it, go into the deep thinking, and therefore, and you mentioned from the Principal Scientific Advisor's Office that when Dr. Abdul Kalam was the first advisor, in fact that time I was the Minister of Power, and that of course he was a great scientist, but because of our commonality of interest, he would come to my office and we would have long discussion on issues of this time. And therefore, since then, we have been thinking, when I was the Power Minister, I was saying I am not Power Minister, I am Minister for Coal, because more than 2/3 of the power was generated from coal. Since then, again, it is still not come down dramatically. Again, technology, we are able to sequestrate part of that, and with new turbines also help in a way. But now, what we have to do, therefore, in this context, look at these broader issues which are threatening our future.
This and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Saath Live, all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Saath, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Sart Live all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Sat, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Sart Live all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Sat, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Sart Live all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Sat, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Sart Live all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite app is bigger and better. Plus English, Konkani and Marathi content. Plus issues from Karwar to Ratnagiri. Plus the Goan Everyday, Goan Varta, Bhangarpui, Konkan Sat, Goan Varta Live and Konkan Sart Live all on single app. All this and much more. Prudent Plus app. Download now. Now your favorite